Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I'm so excited. This is just going to be incredible upcoming week. We have our Be Well 12th annual retreat this coming Friday through Sunday, and some of you are going to be participating. I'm super excited about that. We are in for a good time, and in addition to that, we have our Arizona Super Saturday. So it's a lot going on. So, guys, if you are catching this conversation on on YouTube or any one of the social media sites, I want you to know a little bit about who we are. My name is Carmen Ray, and I am a 1.5 star director with this amazing company. The company is 9 years old. It's Planet Marketing. And I, along with my team, decided to take this business opportunity serious. And as a result of that, we are over 150 partners strong, and we are building something amazing. So, in addition to that, I have been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. In 2018, I locked arms with the person that you're going to be hearing from today, Michael DeMond, and his amazing marketing company, We Merge Media, and he helped me to birth something that is such a passion project for me, and that is Be Well Travel and Lifestyle Magazine. We are all about showcasing the lifestyle, the travels, and just the journey of women entrepreneurs. So if you hear anything from this information today and you want to connect with us and learn a little bit more about the amazing entrepreneurs, just put something in the comments. You can check out our website, bewellmagazines.com, and you'll get a chance to see some of the amazing spotlight entrepreneurs. And just know that we are building something amazing. And we've already done quite a bit, but imagine what we could do with you. So now I am going to turn it over to Michael DeMond of We Merge Media. We are in our second of the four pillars, positioning. How do we get our act together and make sure that we're not running after people that's not looking for us? Mike is going to help us to make sure that we're more discoverable, that we're out on these platforms, that we can attract the people that's looking exactly for what we have to offer and what we have going on in our business. Take it away, Mike.
All right. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Carmen, for that introduction for today. Thank you for allowing me to be here and inviting me to be part of the vision that you have for Be Well Travel and Lifestyle Magazine. I always enjoy having an opportunity to speak to entrepreneurs, regardless of what phase of their growth that they're in, because I was at and continue to be at all these different phases. I was a person who had a job, was unhappy, and wanted to leave. I was a person who didn't have a job, delivered pizza part-time, bagged groceries at Kohl's food store part-time while I was trying to build the business. I also had worked the business full-time, and at the end of the year only made $20,000 and figured out like no wonder I was struggling the whole year. So I know what it feels like to be at all these different phases of it. Right now, I'm at a phase where I'm allowed to have bit more comfort. I can actually plan things financially because I have done the work that was necessary to create some stable and consistent revenue streams. So whenever I get an opportunity to speak to entrepreneurs about this lifestyle and the things that you're going to go through, I really just cherish those moments because I would really love to see more people achieve that level of freedom that I've been able to experience. To be able to have the choice to decide what you're going to do each day with your time, to have the flexibility to do the things that you want to do with the people that you love. Like to me, that makes it all worth it. It's really not for me the financial part. The financial part gives me some flexibility and gives me some decisions, as Carmen said, to have options. But the other parts that I really cherish is just the ability to number one, just live in the gifts that God has given me, and to be able to share those. And then number two is to be able to do that with people that I care about and people who I would really love to see be able to enjoy that part of life too. So when you hear me speak and you are listening to me, just keep in mind that the marketing is just the sprinkles on top of the cake, but the work that I'm want to do with you is much deeper than that. It's really about getting you to that point where you can have those same kind of choices and those same kind of freedoms. So, yesterday I introduced to you the topic of positioning, and today we're going to continue talking about positioning, but we're going to talk about it in a point of connecting the dots. So, one of my favorite things to do when I was a kid was the connect the dots. You get this piece of paper, it had all these dots and these numbers on there. And what you had to do is go from number one to two to three to four, and you had to go through all the numbers. And at the end, you had a picture, and you were able to see what that complete picture was. So I want you to think about positioning and then the challenges that you have to go online, all the activity that you do on social media. I'm going to help you connect the dots today. Okay. Connecting the dots is going to be important because then you will approach the activities that you're doing differently. If you get a challenge to say, okay, go live every day for the next 40 days. Why am I going live for the next 40 days? How does that connect to the goal that I want to achieve? How is doing that activity going to support my team and the people that I'm coaching or leading? Today, we're going to talk about how all these things are related. And I want you to keep this in mind every time you're doing any type of activity for and within your business. Okay. So you had homework yesterday, and there were three elements of positioning that I asked you to think about and put some thought into. The first one was clarity. I wanted you to take some time to think about like what your message is, who it is that you speak to when you are doing your lives or your posting. What is it that they need or want to hear? You know, what's happening in their lives, and how can you bridge the connection between what they are looking for and what you're talking about? What's going to bring that thing that brings that together? Once you're able to identify who you're speaking to, you can incorporate some of your own life experiences the same way I just talked about being a kid and connecting the dots. I know some of you on here remember that you did those sheets and those coloring books, and you were able to find some connection there. So just that simple, I was able to bridge a gap right there and build a close bond to anybody who can relate to that activity of connecting the dots. The other thing that you had to do was think about your relevance. We talked about relevance, like how you can make yourself relevant, what would set you apart, what makes you different. I talked about that being some of your own personal life experiences. And then today, what I want to do is just tie that to people talked about building their YouTube channel. How can I take those things once I have them, and use YouTube or use video or go live on Facebook to do that? How can I incorporate that into anything that I'm writing? Maybe I'm writing a caption for a social media post, and how do I make sure that I'm doing that in a way that's going to support my positioning? So let me give you some examples of that. And then when I open up the mic, I'm going to ask some of you to kind of talk to me a little bit about things that you've seen and things that you can relate to. So let's talk about it as it relates to video content. Let me pull up a video actually for you. A couple years ago, I had a client who reached out to me and said, I have videos in my Facebook group and I want to be able to download them so that I can use them on another platform. And I'm like, okay, not a problem. I can assist with that. But what I decided to do was not just tell them how to do it, but I was like, let me make a YouTube video because I figure if they're asking that question, there's going to be other people asking that question. I'm going to pull that video up for you and I'm going to just explain to you how this ties into our positioning conversation today. One second. Mhm. So this video ended up being one of my most viewed videos. Let me just type in here. I'm sorry, let me show you the Zoom one actually. That's the one I was going to show you. Share my screen with you. And this will be a good example of why positioning and how positioning can be effective through content. Okay. So I did two videos. This is one of them, and then the Facebook one too. So this video itself was about where's my Zoom recording. This video I put out in 2020, I believe, around the time that the pandemic was happening and everybody was transitioning to working from home. And a client asked me about, where do I find my Zoom recording? So I decided to just, instead of give them the instruction just to make a video, put it on YouTube. Now, mind you, when I made this video is 7 minutes long. I wasn't thinking about it really doing a whole lot. I'm just, it's easier for me to explain it to you and make a video. I might as well make it public because there's so many people who are out there dealing with the same situation. So in the end, over the time that this video has been out there, it's had 64,000 views. I've gotten 621 likes on that video. And there's another place that I can go to see how many subscribers I actually received from that video. But the thing that I see that I really thought was cool was like the comments. You get so many people, even as of, some months ago, some years ago, all these different people are like, oh, thank you so much. I've been struggling with this, trying to find it. Thank you for helping me find it. There's real people on the other end of this stuff that we're talking about who will be grateful and thankful for the information that they found. So because this video was related to the problem that they have, and because I was able to give very clear instruction, I got a good response from it. The video continues to be a video that continues to get different, more views, get more comments on there. I randomly just literally turned the camera on and started recording just because I didn't want to repeat this and go back and forth through email. But this is an example of being clear, number one, about who the audience is. I knew the audience was other entrepreneurs who were going to be working from home, people who are going to be using Zoom and probably struggling to figure out, like, where do I find the recording? If it's not in my cloud, then where else can it be? And a lot of people don't know it can be in multiple places. So I had the clarity. It was relevant because it was relevant to what was going on in that time period in people's lives. We were transitioning to remote work. A lot of people weren't used to that, and there was a need for people to find more information about how to do these things effectively. And the differential advantage that I had was that in this video, other than just giving somebody written instruction, I'm actually going step by step. I talked about, if it's in your cloud, if it's on your computer, and here's how you find it. So I was able to just use my own technical experience just as a Zoom user, and to be able to be relatable to people, to say, hey, I understand, the challenge that you have. Let me walk you through that and let me guide you through that. The other video that worked out well for that was a video. Here we go, on Facebook. This video was about how to download my Facebook Live videos. So a lot of people went live, and this was in 2022, go live on Facebook, and their videos are stuck there. And they're like, but I want to use my YouTube channel, or I want to use it on Instagram. Well, again, repeating the pattern of what I've learned from the Zoom video, I did the same thing for the Facebook Live video, figuring people are recording in live videos. They're in groups, because I had a client who was a fitness trainer, and she had her videos there and she didn't know how to get them out. So you'll see some of the comments here. Holy moly, I've been frustrated about this for months. Thank you so much. This 12/31/24, and it still works. Awesome. You're a genius. This helped me so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So what do you think that if I'm able to make that kind of connection with people just through remote, I didn't meet them, I never knew who they were, like, this is just simply off them finding a YouTube video. You see people, really, once they get what they want and what they need, there's value there. But imagine if I was doing that consistently and regularly about all these different topics, how much of a community would I be able to build? So how can you adapt this to your topics and the things that you're going to be talking about? Take a minute for a second here and get DF Russell. Go ahead, DF Russell. I see your hand up.
You just continue to be like a genius in just the simplicity of everything that you're able to share. And while you were saying that, I thought about how many times I either say, "Hey Siri," and ask Siri a question and expect her to give me an answer, or I go right to YouTube for something as simple as, how do I open the hood on my car? And I watch a video like 5 minutes and now I can get it. Like, it used to be right here. Why is it not working? And somebody does that. So to think about how many times, and Wani will appreciate this, people on our team who don't know how to make banners yet, right? And flyers. And they ask, but Wani and I and anybody else who knows how to do it, AJ, whoever, knows that it's not that simple. I mean, it's simple for us because we know how to do it. But do I want to walk you through it verbally? No. And I say, well, we'll get on Zoom and we'll do this. When you just gave that answer. If I'm going to give this one answer to somebody, why not turn that into a public video? And just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean you can't put it out there too. Because if they feel your energy while you're giving it, they want to hear more about how does she know this? And what does she do? And what is she making these banners for? That could bring us more clientele, or at least more views first. So thanks, Mike. That's amazing. Thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome. And I'm glad you were able to see the connection between that example and the work that all of us are doing here. It doesn't have to be a direct everything that you talk about. Join my business, join my business. You are building connection and relevance and getting people an opportunity to meet you and get feel for your energy and who you are. Those are the things that are going to connect. Because you know what? When you do that well, people naturally want to know, well, what else do they do? Like, I want to know more about this person, and they'll start digging and looking you up. And that's what the positioning that I talked about, we'll talk about later is, but there needs to be a place for them to go look you up. There needs to be a place to send people so that they can connect with you. Because when you start doing this and you build these connections with people, they will naturally take interest in you. It's not always a direct thing where we think that because I talked about travel or because I talked about being a network marketing professional, those are the only two things that I can talk about. But even within those two things, think of all the different vertical topics that you can talk about. Are you tired of, you need to plan a trip, but you don't want to do the research topic? That's of a YouTube topic. Somebody might be on there looking, I want to book a trip. How do I book a trip? But don't know, I don't feel like doing all this. There's all kind of ways that you can tie that in. One of the easiest things that you can start with if you struggle with like, what do I talk about or post about, is just think about the challenges and the problems. Those are usually easy places to start. And then I would say also think about your own experiences. Like I was listening to something today and it's like, you can't connect the dots to what's going to happen in the future, but you can connect the dots to the life experiences that you've had in the past, and to be a dot collector. That's why I decided to title today Connect, with the connect the dots. Collect the dots. Look back in your past and think about the things that you've experienced and that you've learned, and how can you take those things and then combine them in your own way to make them yours. They're going to be unique to you. Tracy, I think I saw your hand up. You still have a comment or statement?
Yes, Mike, I was just like Coach said, with using YouTube for everything. I've been using YouTube. I use YouTube to learn how to garden, to build on what, my family had already taught me. I used it to learn how to do my own hair. And so now the idea of putting videos in multiple places, Carmen was the one that suggested to me when she first challenged me to go live, to make my videos and put them somewhere else other than YouTube. And so I started recording videos and uploading them onto TikTok, but I never thought about uploading my videos onto Facebook or downloading my videos off of Facebook until you brought that up. So I'm going to explore that and let you know how that goes.
Yes, yes. Multi-purposing, that's what I call that. I want y'all to remember this, and there's probably more now. But for every one piece of content that you create, especially if you start with a video, there's 15 pieces of content that you can make from that. I have a video on that. You can go from 1 to 15. And this is why I tell people lead with video, because I promise you there's so many different ways that you can repurpose that and it's going to cut down. You can make one video a month, chop that mug up for the week, for the month, and have like 3, 4 different pieces of content going out for the whole month. And all you have to do is sit down once for 30 minutes to an hour. Maybe you find a Fiverr or somebody to edit it for you, and you're good to go. It's just knowing and how to do that. Let's see, we had, I believe, Elvira, and then Carmen will go to you.
Good morning. Thank you. Um, so my question is that, so I've done like little short clips or videos kind of instructing, my team on different things. And um, I have them just on the what is it, Vimeo or Vimeo?
Vimeo.
Um,
Mhm.
yes, sir. So putting them on YouTube, or why I haven't, is because I always thought that, should I create a whole nother page for, if it's just going to be helping my team, or should it all go under just my YouTube profile, and then you have, different topics? Do you create a whole like different brand just for marketing or just for travel, or it's like, is there different categories that you create, or are you just creating um, profiles for each, thing that you're talking about?
Good question. And this is really where taking the time to do the assignment from yesterday comes into place. Because when you're doing positioning, you are going to be strategic about, number one, where you're building your platform, and then what that focus is on that platform. So let's say, for example, the things that you're making for your team have some universal appeal to anybody who might be doing similar work. And as long as you're not doing, feel like you're sharing anything personal, and you're okay with building like a public persona for your work as a network marketing professional, then I would build a channel or platform specifically for that. Whether it's your personal name or your business name is up to you. But I would keep it related to that topic, because you have to train these algorithms for these platforms for that. They'll see that, oh, wow, every time someone is looking up this topic, this channel is getting views. So we're going to keep on sending people there when they search for certain keywords related to this topic, because this channel is doing a good job of covering that topic. That's the way that YouTube, Facebook, all of them kind of interpret that. So be clear, number one, about how you want to position yourself publicly, and then stick to that before you start breaking off. You don't have to make a different channel for all these different things. Usually it's just, if you can take some time to think about the connection between them, you can be able to, and really it just goes back to think about who it is that I'm talking to. If you keep it based on who is it that you're talking to, what problems that they have, what solutions do they need, and how you can help them, you don't have to put a whole lot of thought into the positioning, the brand positioning part, because you're talking to a specific type of person, an avatar. So kind of think about that person. I know this year I'm speaking to people who have been on an entrepreneur journey but have not made 100K in their business yet. And I know they haven't made 100K because I know that they haven't had the strategic um, development. They haven't had coaching or consulting to help them strategically build a business to support 100K. They don't have the systems to do that. So I can be very clear about the content that I make around that topic, and just speak to that person and all the things related to that, the fears they have, the concerns they have, the challenges that I've seen that I know they've experienced it or will experience. So that's really what you want to focus on, is who are you talking to, the problem that they have, and how can you help them? Carmen?
Yeah, this is so good, Mike. Thinking about what Tracy said, and I want to make sure I know what she meant, but I want to make sure we didn't miss that. What I've been saying is, don't just have your videos uploaded to Facebook. You want to have them on YouTube, because that's what Mike has taught me, is the multiple uses, and I want to make sure that you guys didn't miss that. My question, Mike, is, when I think about my target audience, it's women over 50 with an existing business, pretty much solo entrepreneurs, or people who have a business mindset. That's my target. However, when I post content, what I'm still trying to cultivate is, if I post something like randomly about my kids, about me eating something, like, that's get all the views. So I got a little bit of momentum when I started talking about Panama. So I don't want to like niche down, because I'm still trying to discover, like, what can I do to, get, to really build community with it. So I'm just thinking, I'm just kind of like almost throwing stuff out there, because when I try to be very specific on who I think my audience is, I'm like, why did this avocado toast get all these views? Like, what this got to do with anything? Because my sister one made me start posting it, because usually I take pictures of my food and send it to our family chat. She was like, that's crazy, you're not making this content. So talk to me about like what I think I have clarity, but my content is like all over the place, because what I think should get views is not getting the kind of traction I need. So talk to us about that, please.
Yeah, that's a good one. So there's the first thing I'll say about that is, in the beginning, you know nothing. Okay, so take the bucket and throw the bucket up against the YouTube and let it be And that's what data and analytics is for. Carmen wouldn't know what stuff is performing well had she not experimented. There's a lot of experimenting that you have to do in the beginning. Even on my channel for that whole year, I was doing Tech Talk Tuesday. That was all experimental to me, so that I can now go back like I showed you today and look at the videos that performed well and figure out why. What was the thing that connected these? Oh, people really love my tutorials. They like when I teach them how to do these tech related things, and I can keep the video under 10 minutes. Like, that's the thing that I learned from doing that. The other thing that I would say is keep in mind that even though, Carmen, you talked about, women of a certain age group with a certain interest, solo entrepreneur, they still got families, they got grandkids, they got kids, they go out to eat, so like when you are speaking to people, there's this whole other amount of stuff besides that topic in the middle that they can relate to. So it's important. And that's why lifestyle marketing ends up being such a powerful thing. You'll see some of your favorite people that you follow teaching the thing, doing the thing, working out and the fitness. But then sometimes you see them walking through Target and making fun of something, like don't feel like you have to limit yourself. And I know that feeling of people say niche down and all that, but you're still human. And I think that it's good to create those human moments because you might make a connection with somebody through that who then pays attention to the rest of the content just because they liked you or because like, oh, I go to First Watch too. You just never know what it's going to be. So continue doing that. All right, Denisha, I see your hand up.
Thanks, Mike.
That was so good, so good. So you made me think about what I already have as far as the repurposing. I know this stuff, y'all, but I just forget about it. You get caught in the mix of everything, you forget. But Mike, I thought about how I was supposed to be creating brand new content for my workout videos, and I already have stuff. And you reminded me about Fiverr, which I used to use Fiverr all the time. If you guys are not familiar, don't get caught up with the hustle and bustle of you not knowing how to edit things and all that stuff. Don't worry about that. If you need it to be perfect or just close to perfect, hire somebody off of Fiverr. It's really not that expensive, and it is so much worth you giving it to them than you worried about trying to figure it out. And yeah, you relieve a lot of your get your time back. But it made me think about God, I have all that content already. Give it to them, let them chop and screw my videos, and I can go think about something else. So thank you for that reminder. To what Carmen was saying, excuse me, Mama Carmen, Director Carmen, excuse me. I thought about what you just said too about that's what was holding me back so much from YouTube. I have a lot of followers on YouTube. I have ignored my followers on YouTube because I'm caught in my own head about what it is to post, trying to stay on topics, trying to stay on who it is that I'm talking to. But from what Mike was saying about throwing it all up there and just putting it out there and seeing what sticks, literally being authentic. They love to just see you just be who you are, and they want to connect with that. So while we're overthinking everything, yes, you should definitely still target your audience, but just being who you are, that's who everybody falls in love with. So you just reminded me of so many different things. So thanks both of you guys. I appreciate you.
No, you're welcome. Thank you for chiming in. And I ignored my YouTube channel all of 2024. But what I love about YouTube is that channel still went from 1,300 to 14. I'm sorry, 1,300 to 1,400. Picked up another 1,000 subscribers, something like that. Whatever it is, it went up and I ain't do nothing. So what I love about YouTube is that content that you put out there still lives. And I don't have to be on YouTube every day because people are still searching and finding stuff because I talked about relevant topics that will forever be something that people are looking for information on. So keep that in mind. All right. Assignment for today. So if you didn't do yesterday's assignment, don't worry, you still have time, and don't think you're going to nail your clarity and the differential advantage and relevance in one day. I just want you to I'm going to keep reinforcing these things because these things are going to be foundational to the way that you show up online and the way you position yourself. So today, what I want you to do is put it in writing. And once you put it in writing, I want you to make a practice video, okay? So what I want you to do is think about those three different elements. How will you clearly communicate what it is you have to offer to people? I want you to think about what's unique about you or your experience as it relates to the thing that you offer. And then I want you to craft a video that includes some of that language that talks about the offer, the person you helped, what you experienced in your life to make the thing that you do relevant. Example, okay? Let me give you an example. I had been an entrepreneur for 10 years before I realized that I was doing it all wrong. That's my hook. If I opened up with that, I got somebody's attention. What I realized was that I was working 50, 60 hours a week and still broke, not making enough money to do the things that I needed to do. I got to the point where I could no longer continue to operate in that way. I had to put everything on hold and I had to reflect back to figure out what I was doing wrong. In that research, I found that I didn't have the right strategies, the right systems, and the right messaging to reach the people I needed to reach and offer the thing that they were willing to pay for. Because of that, I now have a new coaching product that I'm offering called the First 100K, where I'm going to teach other people who have been in that same scenario that I was in how to make their first 100K in their business. How long did that take me? Okay. I didn't say nothing that required a doctorate degree. Didn't do anything that was super technical. I simply reflected back and connected the dots on my personal experiences and tied that to the thing that I want to help people do today. I've heard many of you do that on these calls when Carmen asks you to share your why and talk about your why. So you have it in there, but it's just going to take the practice and it's going to take you intentionally thinking about how all those things are connected and then the practice of delivering. That's why she says, do your lives, make your videos, because that is the practice. Don't worry about being perfect. Refinement comes later. You know, don't worry about the fact that aesthetically your Instagram and your YouTube don't look pretty because all the thumbnails don't match. That comes later. You know, when the time you get to that point where that become important, you ain't the one doing that stuff no more anyway. You need to just practice and get your skill up and figure your systems out, know how you're going to operate, know who you're speaking to. And then at that point, it'll be very easy for you to figure out where you need to fill in the gaps with other people's time and talent. Denisha, then we'll close out.
Thing I heard and that was so good is that you started with the pain point. You started there and then you talked about the what and then you solved the problem. The way you packaged that and wrapped it up was so good. Thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
I've been stuck. Yes, thank you.
And you got the story, you got the work, you know, like I'm working with you now. So like I see it all there. And many of you do. The work is there, the stories are there because you're here. So the simple fact that you're here in 4040 tells me that you went through something that you can share and help other people overcome. And simply where it starts. Carmen, you want to have anything for closing?
Man, this is so good, y'all. Man, I'm about to practice and mess some stuff up until I get it right. I'm going right to YouTube and say, take one.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to wish you all a wonderful rest of your Sunday. And thank you so much for being here. And we are ready to rock and roll tomorrow, day 13 of 40 days and 40 nights.
I could do it.
Okay. Bye-bye.